39?
हाँ जी।
और कहाँ कहाँ पे आपने सर्व किया?
सिक्किम, कश्मीर, मिजोरम।
और 39 के बाद जब आपको फौज से रिटायर किया गया,
हाँ जी।
तो उसके बाद आपने क्या किया?
उसके बाद मैं जॉब के लिए तलाश करता रहा, मेरे को कोई जॉब नहीं मिला। मैं फिर जो ना बोर्ड फेस किए, बोर्ड में जो ना मैं मेरिट में आया तो मैं बैंक ज्वाइन किया। उसके बाद जो
बैंक में
क्लर्क का काम किया। उससे भी जो है ना जब सैलरी लेते थे उससे भी हमारे बच्चों का काम नहीं चलता था, क्योंकि 15,000 की कम से कम सैलरी में ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा 15,000 थी। तो उससे जो ना मैं 3 बच्चे हैं उनको पढ़ाता था, तो उनको जो ना एक अच्छी एजुकेशन नहीं दे सकता और उनको भी जो ना अच्छा जॉब नहीं मिला।
लेकिन आपके फिर भी 2 बच्चे शायद फौज में गए।
हाँ, आर्मी में है 2।
इसके बावजूद आपने उनको फौज में भेजा?
हम फौज में भेजा क्योंकि हम अच्छी एजुकेशन नहीं दे सके, हमारे पास इतना पैसा नहीं था, गवर्नमेंट इतनी पे नहीं दे रही थी जिससे हम उनको अच्छी एजुकेशन दे सकें। और हम जो ना बच्चों से हमेशा दूर रहे, घर से बाहर रहे, तो साल में 2 महीने आते थे, उसी के अंदर जो है ना बच्चों से मिलते थे। तो बच्चों को हम कैसे गाइड करें, नहीं हमारे पास इतना पैसा जो कि उनको बाहर पढ़ा दें।
Pinky, I want to take this to you. The thing is that I understand the question Ajay is raising, and somebody here does have to answer it. That why does honor equal 1 rank, 1 pension, as opposed to greater compensation? But there is also the fact that you are retiring the bulk. You know, the bulk in a sense, what keeps your army on its feet at 39, 38, between 35 and 40, 35 or
and 97% of our manpower goes home at this age. Let me tell you fundamentally, the basic issue is, can you compare people in uniform with national firefighting services or a coal mine? How many people have to face bullets?
Pinky.
I didn't know, Barkha, we were today addressing all the difficulties that the armed forces were facing, particularly related to finances.
Yeah.
It is impossible to really deal with all of it. We are a country which has certain finances to run the country. We have a country which has a certain infrastructure. We need to address these issues, but we need to address them in the larger sphere of saying we have this much money, we can spend so much on the armed forces or on the other forces if we don't have the money.
You're saying there's a larger debate on how we treat our soldiers, and why are we mixing it up again and again with 1 rank, 1 pension, which is the question that Ajay has raised. He's saying, yes, focus on greater compensation, greater recognition, a better place in society, more value. What does that have to do with parity?
Barkha, no. The question, again, I repeat, is not money. I can live with poverty.
No, I've understood that.
But I can't live with injustice.
No, but why is your justice measured in terms of 1 rank, 1
I will tell you, because if the father and son both serve in the same regiment, retire after same service in the same rank, live under the same roof, the son gets more pension. How does the father find it justice? I can understand what he is speaking out of conviction. There is a difference, Ajay, between dying for your country and getting killed in your duty. The firefighter gets killed by accident. He doesn't go there to die. That is
But he is also taking, I mean, not to compare, but I think what Ajay was trying to say was that he will also go into a building knowing that he may die, though Manvendra believes he won't go in. Which I don't know what the firefighters will feel about. But you spoke about a father-son. We've got Aman sitting here, whose father was in the army. You've now left the army. Why did you leave, to start with? You're in the private sector now.
Yes, Barkha, I am in the private sector. One of the reasons was to look at challenges outside, but there was also a level of dissatisfaction with the kind of remuneration that one got within. You know, to talk in the context of what General Qadian just mentioned, you know, my battalion was successively in Kashmir, exactly the same situation. I have a soldier who left after 91, and there is another person who left in 2005. They get different pensions, and the 2 people have a different lifestyle. So, you know, something as simple as going and buying the onions and potatoes, or the school that you send your child to.
And that is why you believe that 1 rank, 1 pension matters.
The least that we can do to honor and to you know, respect these gentlemen is to give them the same dignity of life that, you know, 2 identical people who have had same rank, have had same level of service, have done the same calling, have attended to the same calling at 2 different times. In fact, in the older time, far more difficult and far more hazardous.
Okay, Commander Bhaskar.
I want to disagree with Professor Shah on one point, which is that I'm afraid if you look at the Indian ecosystem, my point is for 27 years, our system, the bureaucracy, has not allowed this to be interpreted in a fair way. And I repeat this, it is nobody's case that OROP is mixed with honor. Justice is the point that Raj Qadian made, that the way in which this is now being interpreted to a Jawan, to an officer, it is not just, it is not equitable.
So it's about justice, not honor. I'm really out of time. I'm going to take a few audience questions. Yes.
What I'm saying is, even if we leave justice and honor out of the argument, look only at the practical aspect. It's if you are you're putting a man out of service at 35, you need to give him higher compensation. It doesn't matter he's getting a threefold increase, 2,000 to 7,000, doesn't matter.
All right. Yeah.
It is all a question about the intent. If the intent is there, and if the people feel that yes, what the problem of the ex-serviceman is genuine, then there is no reason that why.
So you're questioning the resistance, or
the public is concerned if the MPs can standardize their salaries on the only criteria of the number of terms they serve. It is very, very unfortunate that the armed forces, are being treated in such a manner.
All right, the young lady here.
We cannot dichotomize between the emotional content of the debate as well as the one rank, one commission thing.
Okay, so you can't separate emotion from it. Yeah.
In what way is the government, encouraging the youth to get involved in the armed forces? I mean, in what way are they encouraging us?
I think that is perhaps at the heart of the debate. Yes, sir.
Other points which we raised off as secretary, there's only less than 1% officers are of general rank. While the secretaries, if you look at it, even additional secretaries, a much bigger slab on the top who make it.
Okay, I really have to start taking my last two comments. Yeah.
I just want to say, seeing what's happening today, my son says, I'm joining the army. And, a young boy who's in the 11th feels so strongly.
Despite all
odds, and it's my father there, and, so.
General Upra is your father.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Well, that's still nice to hear in this doom and gloom today. Last question here.
If we don't have resources, to all the people who say we don't have resources, it's very rude of me to say that let's reduce our expenditures on luxury for bureaucrats. They spend massive amounts on their luxury.
You want to add to that? You want to add? This has to be my last. I'm really out of time.
How come that in cases where we have gone to high courts and Supreme Courts and even got favorable judgments from the court, why does the government insist again and again to go back to the courts to get the decision revised?
All right, Pinky.
I want to respond to this one because I feel very strongly the number of cases and the number of benches that are actually hearing either payment of pension matters or arrears or any other account of disability pensions is too many. And I think that is something which needs to be taken care of immediately.
General.
2 points. Everything spoken this afternoon, this evening about bureaucrats is true. I'll leave it at that. Second point, what is required? An attitudinal change among the bureaucracy. It will heal everything.
Indu Liberal, on the unpopular side of this debate today, your last thoughts, yes.
I think it's being an emotional issue, and I quite agree with them that it is an emotional issue. But I would like to tell them that their reactions are a little overpitched, but doesn't matter. The point is that what she doesn't like the terminology, but unfortunately I'll have to use it here because for clarification's sake, the personnel who are below the officer rank, the correction has been done to a very large extent, and if I am not mistaken, in most categories it has come up to about 90% to for a one rank, one pension.
So you're saying many corrections have been
done.
Okay.
And as Captain Dawar said, they are the other corrections of officers, they will, if there is any major, as somebody was mentioning, major problems, probably government will look into it.
Okay, so
it is a step-by-step issue.
All right.
And if the correction has been made, they should be a little more less agitated against the government than they were before.
The audience is being misled by making it appear that it is only the officers' battle that is left. That's not true.
No,
there are 22,000 medals lying with the ministry. Most of them, 95%, belong to the Jawans and JCOs. If they were not hurt, they wouldn't be doing it.
India has the largest unrecognized border in the world. The line of control, the line of actual control, is the largest border in the world, which is still to be delineated. And it's there, it's existing because the Jawan has maintained it. The armed forces have maintained that. They have maintained the sanctity of it. And somebody who did it in 1948 or 62, and somebody who's doing it in 2010, they're doing the same job. They've done the same job. As Aman said, it is worse fighting then than it is fighting now, just because the facilities are different. Your weaponry was different.
Praveen?
You see, One rank,
one pension
has been
Not
given
UPA
by
versus
the
NDA.
UPA government for personal below officer rank till 2006. Virtually there is no difference now between pre-2006 and post-2006.
Okay.
The difference is only 1 to 8%. That's
all right. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, last thoughts.
This division of people, creating a class system in the army of PBOR and officer ranks is dangerous. I don't know the name of the gentleman who was proudly talking about the PBOR. It is a dangerous caste class system you're creating in the veterans, of creating haves and have-nots. One rank, one pension is an honor that needs to be given to the entire force, or
irrespective.
Not.
All right, Ajay, last thoughts. Any more convinced than you were?
I'm actually not convinced. I continue to think we're being very emotive about this. In a high-growth country, it will always be that when a 65-year-old son is living in the same house with his 85-year-old father, the son will be better off than the father. It's a law of nature. You can't change that.
Uday Bhaskar, last thoughts.
We are living in 2010 in an environment where the Indian military, whether it's serving or military, and I say this with anguish, feels that it's being distanced and denigrated by the other institutions and pillars of our democracy. That's very dangerous. And I think we need a more dispassionate debate on this in Parliament.
I think we can end with the conclusion that despite the differences of view here, given the level of emotional rage and feeling in this, it certainly needs a fuller debate in Parliament and much more attention than it seems to get. I think that's a safe conclusion with all our disagreements to agree on. Thank you very much. Hoping for resolution, especially since you said this has been going on since 1984. It's an old issue. It needs to be addressed in 2010. We leave it there. Thank you very much.